So in previous class also we discussed about OC curve. That means it is an operation characteristic curve. So here in this we are going to plot lot fraction defective on x-axis and probability of acceptance on y-axis. In previous class we discussed few aspects related to OC curves. Okay, on x-axis we are considering lot fraction defective. That means if the lot size is 1000, out of 1000 how many are defective? Okay, that is given by lot fraction defective. Probability of acceptance. Okay, if the number of defectives, for example, if there are 10 defectives in a lot of 1000 units, what is the probability that that lot will be accepted even though it is having 10 defectives? So what is the probability that it will be accepted? Whether it will be accepted every time or whether it will be accepted few times and rejected few times. What is that probability? That is the probability of acceptance. So all these things we discussed in previous class. Okay. So in today's class we are going to discuss few more aspects related to this operation characteristic curve. Frequently, the quality engineer's interest focuses on certain points on the OC curve. Okay, initially they will plot the OC curve, then they look at few points on the OC curve. So that is specific points on the OC curve. That means, so if they want to maintain quality level such that 95% times, okay, so the lot will be accepted. If that is the benchmark set by the suppliers, okay, they will plan everything based on that. So they will first fix, okay, to what quality level or to what probability of acceptance, okay, we should consider. What probability of acceptance we should consider, and then what is the quality level that we should maintain. That means this lot fraction defective should be kept at what value, around which value we need to keep this lot fraction defective. Okay, based on those things, so they will make a decision. They will put their resources. Okay. Supplier or consumer is usually interested in knowing what level of lot or process quality would yield a high probability of acceptance. Okay, so if someone is ready to accept the poor quality products, okay, suppliers also don't worry much about quality. They will supply since when the consumer is ready to accept. Consumer may be a company, it may be an individual, it may be a company which is getting some, which is procuring some components, okay, from other suppliers. Okay, so here if consumer is ready to accept at a particular level of lot fraction defective, so then supplier will try to produce lots, okay, where the quality is at least to that level or more than that. Okay, so that is the meaning. In order to get that idea, so you should first know, so at what level consumer will accept the lot. The supplier or consumer is usually interested in knowing what level of lot or process quality would be high probability of acceptance. Again, consumer, he will fix a quality level. Okay, acceptable quality level will be fixed by the consumer. Suppose when the supplier is supplying components at acceptable quality level, okay, he should have a sampling plan such that when the components are supplied to acceptable quality level, he should accept it. Okay, so even when a supplier is supplying components at acceptable quality level, if he is rejecting, that will have various consequences. Okay, supplier is doing according to the agreement, is supplying components according to the agreement. Because of the because of mistakes in your sampling plan, you are rejecting them. That will also result in negative consequences that will have a negative impact on the relation between supplier and consumer. So even consumer is worried about, so how, when to reject a lot, when to accept it. Okay, you should have a plan such that, okay, if the supplier is supplying parts so more than this acceptable quality level, so you should accept. You should have a sampling plan such that the probability of acceptance is very high when the when the components are supplied at the quality level which are set by the consumer himself. For example, the supplier might be interested in the 0.95 probability of acceptance point. This would indicate the level of process followed that could be experienced and still have a 95% chance that the lots would be accepted. The meaning of this is, so now supplier want to maintain a quality level, okay, by making use of this OC curve. So you want to look at a point where, so even though there are defectives, okay, consumer will accept 95% out of 100 times, he will accept 95 times the lot, even though it consists of a certain number of defectives. Okay, so that decision he can make with the help of OC curve. We're looking at specific point. Specific point means, so you will see, okay, for 95% acceptance on the OC curve, what should be the lot fraction defective? Okay, if you consider previous example, suppose if you want to get this, suppose 95% means 0.95 means somewhere here. Okay, so in order to get acceptance level of 0.95, okay, lot fraction defective should be around 0.0203 like that. Okay, so here you will get an idea regarding, so if you want a particular level of acceptance probability, so then you will get an idea. So in order to achieve that, what should be the lot fraction defective? That means how many defects must be there in a lot. Okay, so it will give an idea regarding that. Next, the consumer might be interested in knowing what level of lot or process quality will yield a low probability of acceptance. So that means, so you want to know, so if the components supplied are less than acceptable quality level, okay, so then you should be able to reject them, otherwise you will be in trouble. The consumer or the company which is procuring parts from suppliers, that company will be in trouble. Further, they will have this strategy. A consumer often establishes a sampling plan. Sampling plan means, so first you should decide on, so what is the sample size. Next you should decide on what is the acceptable number. So knowing or deciding on, so lowercase n, small letter n, that is sample size, and acceptance number. Okay, how many defects are within the acceptable limit. Okay, so out of 1000. So if how many defects are there in the lot, you will accept that lot. Okay, so that is part of sampling plan. A consumer often establishes a sampling plan for a continuing supply of components or raw materials with reference to an acceptable quality level. The AQL, so that means acceptable quality level. AQL represents the poorest level of quality for the supplier's process that the consumer would consider to be acceptable as a process average. Okay, he is setting this benchmark. Okay, so out of 1000, if there are 5 defectives, I will accept, or less than 5, I will accept. Okay, if there are more than 5, I will reject. So this is the benchmark set by the consumer himself. Okay, or the company which is procuring parts from suppliers. Okay, so company will set a quality level. Okay, that means if it is 5 out of 1000, okay, so then it might be 0.05 is the might be the 0.05, okay, or 0.005 might be the fraction lot defective. Okay, so if it is within that, company is ready to accept, otherwise it will reject it. The consumer will often design the sampling procedure so that the OC curve gives a high probability of acceptance at the AQL, that is acceptable quality level. That means if the suppliers are supplying components at or more than acceptable quality level, then the probability of acceptance should be high. That means most of the times it should be accepted. Okay, that is the meaning. Suppose if consumers started rejecting components which are supplied at acceptable quality limit, okay, that doesn't make any sense. that will have negative impact on the relation, then supplier will stop supplying components. Okay. Acceptable quality limit is a standard against which lots are judged. It is hoped that the supplier's process will operate at a fallout level that is considerably better than the acceptable quality level. The consumer will also be interested in the protection that is obtained for individual lots of poor quality. Okay, so here a sampling plan will be for number of lots. Okay, based on an average value. Both supplier and consumer are making transactions. That means they are procuring parts, okay, and they are processing them continuously. But at times there's one more possibility, since you are playing with averages. Okay, so some lots may have better quality than your benchmark or your acceptance quality limit. Some lots may have very poor quality, then also you may be accepting them because you are considering the average fraction defective. Okay. So now consumer wants one more warranty or one more protection. Okay. Suppose there may be few lots where number of defectives in that individual lot may be more than the average. Okay. So then, so you may want that lot. Okay. So you may want to reject that lot, or you may want replacement for those defective components within that lot. Okay, like that. So they will set one more standard. Okay, that is lot tolerance % defective. In such a situation, the consumer may establish a lot tolerance % defective. That means, so in some lots there are it is natural that so some lots will have more number of defectives than the average. Okay, but he is ready to accept that fact. But for that also he is setting a limit. Okay, so if on an average, if he is ready to accept 5 defectives per 1000, now so you may be fixing lot tolerance % defective at 8. Okay, because in some lots on an average it is 5. In some lots it may be 2 or 3 per 1000. In some lots it may be 7, 6, 7, 8. In some cases it may be 10, 12 defectives per 1000 units. Okay, now so if you get 12 defectives out of 1000, so it may be a loss for the consumer. So in that case, so you will go for this lot tolerance % defective. Suppose in a particular lot, if the number of defectives are more than this, okay, this lot tolerance %, so then you will have an agreement. Okay, so based on terms and conditions, so they will take action or they will make decision regarding those lots. The LTPD, that is lot tolerance % defective, is the poorest level of quality that the consumer is willing to accept in an individual lot. For this case, so if he is setting lot tolerance % defective as 0. Okay, so if it is 8 out of 1000, okay, so within that he will accept. So if it is more than 8, he will reject it. Okay, so then you can find this lot tolerance % defective. So 8 by 1000, that will give you that value. Okay, 0.008. Next, LTPD is a level of lot quality specified by the consumer. Alternate names for the LTPD are the rejectable quality level or limiting quality level. Okay, instead of using lot tolerance % defective, you can use these terms also. Next, type A and type B OC curves. There are two types of OC curves, type A and type B. But in this course, we are considering type B OC curves. So OC means operation characteristic curves. Type B OC curve. So here binomial distribution is used for calculating probability of lot acceptance. Okay, so probability distributions are not included in this course. So you might have studied in mathematics. Okay, so for type B, in order to find this probability of lot acceptance PA, we are framing equation based on binomial distribution. Whereas for type A curve, in order to find this probability of lot acceptance, so we are framing equation using hypergeometric distribution. So this is an example. This is a type A and type B. So again, we are plotting the same values, large fraction defective and probability of acceptance. The equation used to find this probability of acceptance is different in case of hypergeometric distribution, okay, or in case of type A OC curve. Again, so if you plot using equations of hypergeometric distribution and binomial distribution for lot size 500, sample size 50, then acceptance number 1. So we are getting a curve like this. Okay. Suppose in case of type B, so you might be considering infinite lot size. Okay. Again, NC value remains same. Okay. You can see only there will be a difference, but the difference level is very less. Okay. So only a minute difference you can see. Okay, so between type A and type B. So next, so type A and type B may be same. Both type A and type B curve may be same in cases where, okay, so if the lot size is 10 times or more than the sample size, okay, there will be no difference between type A and type B curve. Okay, that is also one more consideration. Lot size is at least 10 times the sample size. The type A and type B OC curves are virtually indistinguishable. That means they are same. So they make a difference only when the sample size is having greater value when it is compared with lot size. Okay, so suppose if instead of 500, if you are taking 100 samples, then this type A and type B curve will have more difference. Okay, otherwise so they look similar. If it is more than 10 times, so they will overlap with one another. They are same. The type A OC curve will always lie below the type B OC curve. This is applicable only when, so if n value is less than, sorry, if capital N lot size is if it is 5-6 times than the sample size, so then you can find this difference. When there is difference, so always type A curve will lie below type B. This difference is only significant when the lot size is small relative to the sample size. Small means so it should be less than 10 times the sample size. Lot size should be less than 10 times the sample size. Then you can find the difference between these two curves. Next, so we are not going to discuss these two types of curves in detail. We are considering only type B curve in this course. Okay, designing a single sampling plan with a specified OC curve. That means here, so you can, if sampling plan means, so you have to decide on sample size and acceptance number. Okay. So we are going to discuss an approach called, we can use nomograms, okay, that we will discuss. A common approach to the design of an acceptance sampling plan is that the OC curve pass through two designated points. So that means here we are concerned about what should be the sample size and what should be the acceptance number. One point is not enough to fully specify the sampling plan. Next, if the probability of acceptance, that is PA, is given by 1 minus alpha for lots with fraction defective P1, and probability of acceptance is beta for lots with fraction defective P2, assuming that binomial sampling is appropriate. That means we are considering type B OC curve. Assuming that binomial sampling is appropriate, we see that the sample size n and acceptance number are the solution to these two equations. So that means, so if the values of 1 minus alpha, if you know alpha and P1, you can find n and c value, okay, using nomogram, okay, that we will see. Similarly, if you know beta and P2 value, you can find out n and c value. If you know c, obviously you will get D value. Okay, so D will vary between 0 to C. Okay, so previous class we have calculated PA value by considering all these values. So in previous class, okay, we have discussed that. So now, so we are concerned about finding the values of C and N, okay, using remaining values in the equation. That means if we know 1 minus alpha, that means alpha and P1 value, beta and P2 value, we can find out N and C using nomogram. That procedure we will discuss next slide. Nomograph can be used for solving these equations. Okay, in these equations, N and C are unknown. We want to find them. So initially, so next slide you will see a nomogram. In that nomogram, so there are two vertical lines. Okay, so in that between two lines, so there are values. We are going to connect points on these two vertical lines. Two lines are drawn on the nomograph. One connecting values of P1 and 1 minus alpha, and the other line connecting values of P2 and beta. The intersection of these two lines gives the region of the nomograph in which the desired sampling plan is located. If you wish to construct a sampling plan for these values, so you know P1 alpha, P2 beta values. Okay, so alpha 1 minus alpha is probability of acceptance, beta itself is probability of acceptance, P1 is log fraction defective, P2 is also log fraction defective. Locating the intersection of the lines connecting these two values, P1 is 0.01 and 1 minus alpha, that is probability of acceptance, and P2 beta. So here beta itself is the probability of acceptance, and the nomograph indicates that the plan N is equal to 80C is very close to passing through these 2 points on the OC curve. Using nomograph, so you will get N is equal to 89 and C is equal to 2. So that procedure I will explain later. Since N and C must be integers, this procedure will actually produce several plans that have OC curves that pass close to the desired points. Okay, this is the nomograph. Okay, now consider the same data which we discussed in previous slide. Okay, so here you have P1 alpha, P2 beta values. You want to find out N, that is sample size, and C, that is acceptance number. Okay, now locating the intersection of the lines connecting P1 is equal to 0.01 and 1 minus alpha is equal to 0.95. So nomograph, so it is like a graph sheet. Okay, if you want to, you can get nomograph for finding for single sampling. Okay, so you will get nomograph, or you can download this and you can take printout. That itself is a nomograph. This is a graphical method to find unknown values. Okay, for that there will be some graphical procedure. You are going to draw a few lines, you are going to connect them by using that result. So you are going to find some unknowns. Okay, for that we make use of nomograph. So this is a graphical method. Now consider this example. So you have two values, P and 1 minus alpha. P is the probability of this is the log fraction defective. 1 minus alpha is the probability of acceptance. Okay, now I will consider the value of P1 on this vertical line. This nomograph consists of two vertical lines. Okay, here probability of acceptance P, next probability of C, that is defectives. Okay, so now so I will consider the value. So it is 0.01. I will consider these two values. So P1 is 0.01. That means 1 point is this. Next, another point is 0.95. Okay, here this is 0.95. Okay, now using scale, I should connect these 2 points. Okay, that is 0.01 and 0.95. Okay, now I should draw a straight line connecting these two. Next, similarly, P2, there is one more set of values. P2 is 0.06. So this is 0.06. Next, beta is 0.10. So here 0.10. Next, I should draw one more line connecting these two. Next, this intersection point, okay, this point will give you value of n and c. Here you can see, so on number of trials, okay, our sample size, that is n. Here you will get occurrences c. N and c value you will get based on this location. Okay, so you should draw exact straight lines. Okay, in the next slide you can see. So I have drawn exact straight lines. Okay, connecting 0.1 and 0.95, and one more line connecting 0.06 and 0.10. Okay, so these two values. So this is P1, this is 1 minus alpha value, this is P2, this is beta value in the given problem. So here. So next, when I draw straight lines connecting P1 and 1 minus alpha, P2 and beta value, so these two lines will intersect at a certain point. That point will be considered to find values of C and N. Okay, so now this is the point. Okay, so you can find this is the line to find C value. Okay, if this point lie somewhere here, it may be 0 or 1. Okay, now this is the line of 0, this is the line of 1, then this is the line of 2, and this is the line of 3. Now C value may be 1 or 2, because this point, this intersection point lie between 2, so between 2 and 3. Okay, since it lies between 2 and 3, so this is the line of 2, here this one, and this is the line of 3. So this point lies between 2 and 3. Now C value can be 2 or 3. Okay, so you should make a decision. So that's why in the last line you can see, since N and C, number of sample size and number of defective, they are integers, they cannot be fraction. This procedure will actually produce several plans. So that means you have different values of N and C. Okay, in this case you can consider it as 2 or 3. Okay, so now you will get an idea. So it will be 3. So they have considered it as 3. Next, so if you want to get N value again, so this is 2, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, okay, 70, 100. This is 100. Okay, so here you can see. So this is for 100. Okay, this is 90. Okay, it is lying on this 90. Okay, this point. So like that, you will get N and C based on this intersection point. Okay, so this is how we can make use of nomograph to decide on sampling plan. That means to find values of N and C if we know lot fraction defective and probability of acceptance. Okay, we can decide on finding this N and sample size and acceptance number. Okay, when the levels of lot quality specified are P1 is equal to AQL, that is acceptance quality level, and P2 lot tolerance percent defective, the corresponding points on the OC curve are usually referred to as producer's risk point and the consumer's risk point respectively, because so producers are making decision, okay, based on this acceptable quality level. So that means they are deciding to produce all components at an acceptable quality level. Okay, so that is the producer risk point. Suppose if something they produce within less than that, so the lots are rejected. Okay, so that is the producer risk point. Next, consumer risk point is, so they are setting a tolerance percent defective. Okay, in worst cases, this should be the least quality. Okay, which we are ready to accept. Within that, they don't accept. So that is the consumer risk point. Thus, alpha would be called the producer's risk and beta would be called the consumer's risk. Next, rectifying inspection. This is one more topic. Okay, so already we discussed based on probability of acceptance. Okay, we will suppose if the probability of acceptance is 0.95, the meaning of that is out of 100 lots, 95 lots will be accepted. Remaining 5 lots will be rejected. Next, this rectifying inspection is about this rejected lots. Okay, what will be done for these 5 lots? Whether these 5 lots are completely rejected, then if lots are rejected, what suppliers will do? So that is rectifying inspection. Acceptance sampling programs usually require corrective action when lots are rejected. Okay, we know the probability of acceptance and rejection. So we are discussing from beginning of this module. Okay, few lots will be rejected anyhow. Okay, so acceptance sampling programs usually require corrective action when lots are rejected. This includes 100% inspection or screening of rejected lots with all discovered defective items either removed for subsequent rework or returned to the supplier or replaced from a stock of known good items. Such sampling programs are called rectifying inspection programs. So here what you are doing, so initially based on your sampling plan, okay, out of 100 lots for example, you have rejected 5 lots. So then what supplier should do for these 5 lots? What he can do is, so if the lot size is 1000, now he has to inspect all 1000 units in those lots and you should identify which are the defective items in the lot. Then these defective items should be replaced with good items. Okay, that means good quality units. Then he can once again he can supply the same to the consumer. Now when consumer evaluate quality, because there are no defectives in the lot, they will be accepted because you did 100% inspection. You have eliminated all defectives. You might have replaced them with good, or you may do rework for these defectives. Okay, you can rework and you can make them as good quality components because you are performing a few more operations. Okay, in order to enhance quality of those parts. Okay, then you are resupplying. So this is called as rectifying inspection program. So this is related to rejected lots. So you are identifying all defectives in those rejected lots. Then you are doing rework if possible, or you are making them as scrap and you are replacing them with new set of units. Okay, so which are having good quality. The outgoing lots from the inspection activity are a mixture of lots with fraction defective PO and fraction defective 0. So lots with fraction defective 0 means the lots which are subjected to rectifying inspection programs. So these lots will not have even a single defective because it was subjected to 100% defect inspection. There will be no defective in these lots. So the average fraction defective in the stream of outgoing lots is P1, which is less than P0. The meaning of this is, suppose if you supply 100 lots, okay, out of 100 lots, consumer accepted 95 and he rejected 5. You implemented rectifying inspection program for these 5 rejected lots. You replaced all defectives with good quality units. Okay. Once again, you will resupply the same lots to the supplier, so to the consumer. Now consumer will accept because there is no defective. Even if you go for acceptance sampling, even if you pick some samples and if you test, you will not get any defective because already you performed 100% inspection on these things. Okay. Now when you are evaluating fraction defective of these 100 lots, okay, so you should consider fraction defective for 95 as that average value. For the remaining 5, it is 0 because you have eliminated those defects. Then if you are evaluating outgoing fraction defective, okay, you have to add these two values, divide by 2, that will give you an average. So the average fraction defective in the stream of outgoing lots is given by P1, which is less than PO, because so you have eliminated defectives from 5 lots, it will be less than P1. The rectifying inspection program serves to correct lot quality. Okay, this is the rectifying inspection program. So incoming lots will have a certain fraction defective. Okay, incoming lots will have a fraction defective of P0. Next, inspection activity will be performed. When inspection activity is performed by the consumer, so few lots will be rejected and most of the lots will be accepted based on the sampling plan. Okay, based on for a particular fraction defective, we will have a particular probability of acceptance based on the OC curve. Okay. So next, accepted lots, they will become outgoing lots because these are accepted by the consumer. Rejected lots are subjected to rework or replacement of defectives. Then after that, so since defectives are eliminated, fraction defective in these lots will be 0. Okay, whereas these accepted lots will have a fraction defective of PO, whereas these rejected lots will have fraction defective 0. Okay, now you should consider average of these two. Okay, that will be less than PO. Okay. That is the meaning. Next, average outgoing quality.